In the shadow
Here
of
you
a
are, little
distant
one. All
sun,
stable now.
a world
Vitals are
forged in
strong, you're a
crimson
fighter.
dust and whispered dreams awaited the first breath of a child.
Hi there, little
This world,
explorer.
Mars, had
First
long been a
sunset on
canvas of
Mars,
sterile red,
and it's all
but on
yours.
that fateful day, it became a
Sweet
tapestry
dreams,
woven
love.
with the delicate threads of life. His name was Leo, a luminous spark against the vast emptiness,
Hi there,
the
little
first human
explorer.
child born on a planet
First
that was
sunset on
not Earth.
Mars, and it's all
From his
yours.
earliest moments, Leo's existence was a
dreams,
curious juxtaposition of the unfamiliar and the utterly mundane. He didn't know the smell of fresh grass or the feel of warm earth beneath his feet. Instead, he was enveloped in a cocoon of sterile air, purified and recycled endlessly. The rhythmic hum of life support fans was his lullaby, a soft and constant reminder of the fragile balance that kept him alive. As a toddler, Leo was a gravity defier, reveling in the gentle pull of Mars' 0.38 g gravity. While other children might crawl or stumble, Leo floated. To his wide-eyed parents, he was a tiny astronaut, bobbing near the ceiling of his nursery like a whimsical balloon, laughter bubbling from his lips as he danced in the air.
Look at all the stars.
His parents
in there.
watched, hearts
So
swelling with a
beautiful,
mixture
just
of
like
pride
you.
and worry,
One day you'll see
as their
them all.
son explored a world where the laws of physics played a different tune. His playful antics became legend within the sterile walls of their home. Instead of sandboxes filled with golden grains, Leo had regolith pits, small, vacuum-cleaned excavations of Martian soil that became his playground. He would dig and sift, the fine particles slipping through his fingers like secrets of the universe. Through the thick, lead-glass windows that shielded him from the harsh Martian winds, Leo would often gaze at the tiny blue speck flickering in the sky, his heart filled with a longing he couldn't quite name. "That's home," his mother would say, her voice tinged with nostalgia as she pointed towards Earth. Leo would press his small hand against the cold glass, feeling the chills seep into his skin, and with certainty in his voice he would respond, "No, home is here." His innocent conviction echoed through the sterile halls, a declaration of belonging that shook the very foundations of their understanding.
Beautiful, isn't it?
But as Leo grew, the chasm between his reality and the world beyond widened. He felt the weight of isolation settle on his small shoulders, a longing for something he had never touched or seen, yet deeply craved. The sterile red landscape felt suffocating,
Here comes
and
another
the tiny
bite, sweetie.
flickering blue speck became a symbol of something lost,
He loves
something he
it.
could never quite reach.
Wow,
In his
look,
moments of solitude, he would float to the highest point in their home, gazing out at the vast Martian
Great job,
expanse.
Space Explorer.
The loneliness wrapped around him
Yes,
like a
let's
thick,
build a
heavy
rocket.
fog, and he realized that while he was born
Great
on this
job,
new
Space
world,
Explorer.
a part of him would always
Yes,
seek the
let's build
familiar
a
embrace of
rocket.
a planet he could only imagine. One evening,
Almost there,
as
buddy.
the dust
Grab it.
storms danced outside,
Great
Leo's
landing. One
mother
more
knelt
time.
beside him, her eyes shimmering with understanding. "You know, Leo, home is not just a place. It's where you feel loved, where you feel safe. And you are loved here." With her words, a warmth unfurled within him, wrapping around his heart like a soft blanket. In that moment, he understood. Home was not the blue speck in the sky, or the memories of a world he could barely fathom. It was the laughter shared with his parents, the regolith pits he called his playground, and the dreams of a future where Mars could bloom with life, just as Earth once did. And so, as the winds howled outside, Leo's laughter rang out, a melody of hope and belonging that echoed through the sterile hallways, bridging the gap between a red past and a green future, reminding all that home can be found even in the most unlikely of places. By the time he turned 16, Leo had grown into a lanky, tall teenager, his body a testament to the low gravity of Mars. His limbs moved with a certain grace, each step a playful defiance of the planet's harsh conditions. He and the other first-gen kids, the pioneers of the Martian landscape, ruled the vast labyrinth of lava tubes that snaked beneath the surface. With patched-up pressure suits that bore the scars of their adventures, they would sneak out of their habitats under the cover of night, hearts pounding with excitement. The cool Martian air filled their lungs as they raced their hydrogen-powered hoverbikes across the sweeping plains of Valles Marineris, the red dust kicking up like a cloud of stars behind them.
Good. We need that
But it was
airlock.
during these exhilarating
The seal is reforming.
escapades that
Good,
Leo
we need
first
that
felt the
airlock.
creeping shadow of the Earth sickness. It wasn't a longing to return to Earth, for its gravity would have crushed his fragile, Martian-thin
Almost
bones.
got it.
Instead, it was a profound hunger, a yearning for the experiences that the blue planet had to offer. He spent countless hours in virtual reality simulations, immersing himself in the sounds and sensations of rainstorms. The gentle pitter-patter of raindrops against a roof, the smell of wet earth, and the mesmerizing sight of water cascading from an overcast sky enchanted him. On Mars, the sky was a rich butterscotch during the day, transforming into a haunting bruised blue at sunset. Each evening, Leo would sit atop a rocky outcrop, gazing at the horizon, where the sun dipped below the Martian landscape. To him, the blue sunset was not merely a daily occurrence, it was a powerful symbol of transformation. He saw it as a reminder that Mars, too, was evolving, becoming something new under his watchful eyes. Yet with this obsession came conflict. His friends, who found contentment racing through the Martian dust, teased him for his longing. "Why dream of a place you can never go?" they would say, laughter in their voices. But Leo couldn't shake the feeling that perhaps there was more to life than the stark beauty of Mars. As days turned into weeks, the weight of his dreams pressed down on him. He felt isolated, locked in a world that celebrated the present, while he ached for a glimpse of the past, a past he had never known. It was during one of those lonely nights, staring at the blue sunset, that he made a decision. He would channel his desire into building something new, a project that would merge the beauty of Martian sunsets with the dreams of Earth. With determination ignited within him, Leo gathered his friends and shared his vision of an expansive park that simulated Earth's climate, complete with virtual rain and greenery that would thrive under the Martian sun. Slowly but surely, his passion ignited theirs. They rallied together, pooling their skills to create an oasis of earthly sensations, something that could bring the joy of rainstorms to their barren world. As they worked tirelessly, the camaraderie among them blossomed. They shared stories, laughter, and even tears, forming a bond that transcended their initial teasing. The park became a reality, a patch of Earth on Mars, a place where they could escape and experience a glimmer of what they had always yearned for. In that park, under the glow of a synthetic sky, Leo felt a profound sense of belonging. The blue sunset no longer represented a yearning for something unattainable. It symbolized hope, creativity, and the power of friendship. And as he stood there, surrounded by laughter and the gentle sound of artificial rain, he realized that Mars was not just a barren rock. It was home, and it was becoming beautiful in its own right. In the crimson expanse of Mars, where the skies blazed with a relentless red and the ground was a tapestry of dust and stone, Leo found a purpose that transcended survival. As the lead terraforming engineer, he was not merely a denizen of this alien world. He was a pioneer, a sculptor, shaping the very fabric of a barren planet. The Great Thaw was not just a project, it was a revolution. Leo's hands, marked by years of toil, had ached under the weight of responsibility, yet they also trembled with excitement as he supervised the installation of massive orbital mirrors. When they were finally activated, sunlight cascaded onto the southern ice caps, igniting a flicker of life in the frozen wasteland. The warmth that followed was not just physical, it was a rekindling of hope. Leo could feel the vibrant pulse of potential coursing through him as he watched the ice begin to melt, transforming the stark Martian landscape into a canvas of possibilities. Yet, amidst the monumental achievements, the highlight of his life unfolded not in the grandeur of his wedding, held in a cathedral of transparent aluminum that shimmered like a crystal dream, but on the day the Grand Canal opened. Standing on a ridge, he gazed in awe as the first liquid water in millions of years carved a serpentine path through the red dust, reflecting the sunlight like liquid diamonds. It was a moment of profound realization. He was not just an engineer, but a witness to history. As water flowed freely for the first time, Leo felt a swell of emotions rise within him. Tears welled in his eyes as he understood the significance of what he had helped create. He was no longer a mere guest on this planet, he was a gardener of its rebirth. With a heart brimming with joy, he planted the first Martian oak in the central dome. The rough bark felt like history beneath his calloused fingers, a testament to resilience and rebirth. As he buried the roots into the red soil, he wept, not just for the tree, but for the future it symbolized. Each tear was a promise to Mars, a vow to nurture and protect this newfound paradise. In that moment, he was not only shaping the planet's surface, but also intertwining his destiny with its revival. Leo stood tall, a guardian of hope, as the first leaves unfurled in the Martian breeze. The journey had only begun, but he felt a kinship with this world, bound by the shared dream of life flourishing in the most unlikely of places. Mars was no longer just a backdrop for human endeavor. It had become a canvas of rebirth, painted by the hands of those who dared to dream. In the twilight of his years, Leo had become the living history of a planet, a testament to resilience and diplomacy. Known affectionately as the Old Man of Olympus, he was a statesman whose weathered hands had negotiated trade with Earth, while fiercely safeguarding the independence of his beloved Mars. The air, once thin and cold, was now a gentle caress against his skin, a reminder of the progress he had witnessed over the decades. Despite his frail frame, supported by a sleek carbon fiber cane, Leo's spirit soared with the memory of each hard-won victory. On the eve of his 85th birthday, he settled onto his porch, a space that commanded a breathtaking view of a crater lake. As the sun dipped low in the sky, the water mirrored a palette of pale teal, a soothing contrast to the butterscotch hues of his youth. The sounds of laughter danced through the air, drawing his gaze to the vibrant figures of his great-grandchildren. They ran not as weightless avatars but as grounded children, their feet firmly planted on a world that had finally embraced them. Leo's heart swelled with joy, a warmth flooding through his aging body as he watched them play, their laughter echoing like music in the shimmering twilight. But as the sun began its descent into a blue horizon, Leo felt an unexpected heaviness in his chest, an echo of the laboring heart that had carried him through so many trials. He closed his eyes, breathing in the cool Martian air, scented with the faintest hint of new vegetation. His mind drifted back to the countless discussions held in dimly lit rooms, the strategy and resolve it had taken to bring about the changes he now cherished. The struggle to turn Mars into a cradle for life had not been without sacrifice, but the sight before him made every hardship worthwhile. As Leo quietly slipped away during that serene sunset, he did not long for Earth, the world of his origin that had seemed so distant. His desire was to remain here, among the rust-colored soils and the resilient Martian sky. They buried him in the red dust of Hellas Planitia, an unassuming yet profound resting place that would be his eternal home. Over time, the dust storms he had once feared would blanket his monument. Yet his legacy, the indelible footprints of a boy born in a vacuum who grew into a man of change, remained etched into the history of two worlds. In the years that followed, the tales of Leo's life would be shared around fires, recounted with reverence by those who remembered the old man who had walked a tightrope between two planets. His spirit lived on, not just in the stories told, but in the vibrant lives of those who ran beneath the pale teal skies, forever inspired by the man who had dreamed of a future where they could thrive.